Hello everyone, my name is Bionic Sun and welcome back to the new Eriador server. You may notice all these sheep behind me. This is actually part of a project that I thought I was going to do today, but instead I found something much more interesting to do. But before we get into what we're going to be building today, I wanted to show you something pretty cool, and that's the community server that we have here connected to new Eriador. It's pretty easy to get to and anyone can access it. If you just go to your Minecraft menu, click on multiplayer, then click on direct connect. The server address is simply just neweriador.com. So once you get onto the server, you're greeted by this welcome spawn area, which has some information and some rules, as well as this welcome sign. If we actually turn around, we can see that this is the meeting area where all of us new Eriador members hold our weekly meetings. If we take a closer look, we can see that all the members are here. And we are sitting right there. And if we also take a look outside, we can see this amazing monument that someone has built with all of the new Eriador members in miniature or baby form, whatever you want to call it. And we can see that we are right over here. I would say ours is probably the most expensive of the statues. So you can see that there's lots of different plots where people are building and testing their builds and stuff. So it's a nice place to come to test out some building, and you'll probably see me on here. If you want to go and see what I'm building, then you can type in P space H space Bionic Sun, and then you'll be taken to the plot that I have currently. There's nothing actually on here yet because I've only just started on the server and I've only just realized that this community server exists. But you can see that people are building on the other plots around, and there's something everywhere really. So if we go back to spawn, you just do that by typing in spawn. We can see that there's lots of stuff to explore around here, and there's usually people online. And what we have up here is also an Elytra game, which is what I've been spending most of my time doing. So if we come here, we can see that if we just type in Elytra, then we'll be taken up to the Elytra game. So we have an easy mode over there and a hard mode over in that way. I've been taking the easy mode because I'm not very good at Elytra flying. Only done it a couple of times actually. So here the aim is to get through these blue balloons. It's going pretty good so far. Let's see if we can make it all the way. And then there's actually a hole into the world just here. Let's see if we can make it. And then, yeah, it restarts. But it's very cool, and I suggest you have a go at it if you're ever on the server. So that's the new Eriador community server. Come and join us, and whenever I'm on here, just feel free to teleport to me. You do that by just typing TP Bionic Sun, and then you'll teleport to wherever I am if I'm online. And usually that would be at my plot, maybe testing out a build or something like that. Getting back to the vanilla survival new Eriador server, like I said, we're not going to be using these sheep. We're not going to be using all of this wool that I have here in the chest, which is saved up for another build. We'll probably be doing that in the next episode. I actually did some caving. I found a cave. I decided not to record the caving session because fighting the mobs has become very, very easy, so I doubt it's super entertaining for you guys to watch. So I decided not to record the caving session. And the reason it's gotten so easy is because I've been further upgrading my bow to power 5, punch 2, mending and flame. The only thing that's missing is infinity, and I would say that would pretty much be a perfect bow. So this bow basically annihilates the mobs, and there's not much of a challenge left. However, I do regret not recording the caving session because I found something very cool. Over here at the back of the camp, where we can see the tower from here behind the trees. And we can also see Jacobok's roof. And the ship that Nox Mama has built. Here in a cave under the water, I found a double spawner. A zombie spawner and a skeleton spawner. So if we just go down and take a look. If my calculations are correct, then these two spawners are actually in reach of each other, so we can stand in between them and activate both of them at the same time. It's very nice that I found these two spawners. This one I found first. I came in via a cave down here, fought a couple of skeletons, and then lit up the spawner. And another thing I found in the chests was some pumpkin seeds and some beetroot seeds, so we can actually expand the amount of food items that we can make in our farm. But I'll save that for another episode. In this episode we're more interested in these spawners. I'm very glad that I found a skeleton spawner, because not only does it give access to unlimited bones, but also bows and arrows. We need these for the next challenge that has been set by the other members, because us new Eriador members are supposed to fight the Ender Dragon as a team. So getting some arrows and bows, and obviously XP so that we can get better geared up, is going to be quite important when we fight the Ender Dragon. We're supposed to be fighting the Ender Dragon as a team, me, Jackabok, Java Dad and Nox Mama. We need to find a date where we can all fight the Ender Dragon together, so that should be quite fun and look forward to that in the future. And once we complete this challenge of fighting the Ender Dragon and defeating her, then we are going to be freely allowed to roam the server. But for now, we're going to be concentrating on building a XP farm, where if we stand somewhere in the middle between these two spawners, we can see that they're quite clearly both activated. So I'm going to make a cut here where I'm going to be clearing out the rooms, and then we'll talk more about how we're going to make this farm. So I cleared out some space around both of the spawners. Here we have the skeleton spawner, and over here we have the zombie spawner. For the design of the walls, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's going to be dark in the room anyway, so we're probably not going to be seeing too much of it. I used stone half slabs because it looks okay. It's acceptable. I torched the place up so that no mobs are spawning. And if we look at the size of the room, we see that we've gone 4 blocks in each direction away from the spawner. And then we have 2 blocks above the spawner, and then we need at least 5 blocks below the spawner so that all spawning spaces are available for the mobs. And then what I'm planning to do is, you can see I've already done a little bit here with the water to catch the mobs and then funnel them into a one wide area. This might need to be lowered, because what you want to do to get the mobs down to a one-hit kill is to lift them up and then drop them 23 blocks. Exactly 23 blocks, and then they will be a one-hit kill with your fists, and in that way you save a sword basically. And in thinking about where we're going to have our AFK room, or the room where we kill the mobs, the science behind spawners says that you're allowed to be 16 blocks within the spawner and then it's still active. So if we look here, we're actually 16 blocks away. If we move back, we're 17 blocks away. And you'll see the fire has actually been extinguished. So if we move forward a little bit, there, it's activated. Move back and it stops. Same with the zombie spawner over here. If we go here, we're 16 blocks away. So I'm just going to zoom in and you can see it deactivate when I move 1 block further away. Now we're 17 blocks away and it doesn't work. Another thing that we have to keep in mind when we're talking about mob spawners is that they have a sort of a cap of 6 mobs. If there's 6 mobs within this area, within 5 blocks, I think it's about 5 blocks of the spawner, then they're not going to spawn anymore. You get maximum of 6. But if we move them 5 blocks away, the ones who have spawned, then new ones will spawn. So the idea is that we have to move them 5 blocks away from the spawner. So that would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if they're all here, then more will spawn. And as you can see, we've done this water canal system here, and it funnels them down into this area here. And I was killing some of them before, so that's why this block is here. And there's quite a lot of mob sounds around here. I think I've been trying hard to light up all the caves around here, but I guess there's some rooms that I missed. So we'll see if the mobs stand here, then more will spawn from the spawner, if it's dark of course. And our water canal goes to about here. So then the next step is going to be to place a sign here and one there as well, and then a water source block here, then a sign, then a water source block, then a sign, then a water source block, and then we're going to bring the mobs up in a water elevator, and then finally drop them down 23 blocks to this area here. But we need to, I think we're actually going to need to go a bit lower with this one, because we have the, if we're looking up here, we have the ocean or the water surface right up here. And I think that's less than 23 blocks from where we were. I haven't fully calculated that one yet. I'll have to take a look and make sure first. Oh, nice weather up here. So our spawner is down here in the middle of the ocean. We'll have to think about something for a nice entrance and to make it so that people can find it as well. For that purpose, I brought some blue stained glass that always goes nicely in with the water. So you can see I have lots of materials, and I actually found a couple of slimes. The first slimes that I've seen or found. There was a slime, so I guess there's a slime chunk. I think it was in that direction over there. I found a slime in a cave, and there was actually a big slime that spawned down here, so we might actually have a slime chunk in this area. Not sure if we're going to do anything about that. Just a small progress update. I have cleared out this room where we're going to be killing the mobs. I put in these half slabs so that you'll be able to see inside the spawner areas, which I think is pretty cool. And since they're half slabs with only half a slab space in between, no light is going to get into the spawner area. The size of this room I think is pretty good. We have 6 blocks by 9 blocks. Where this dirt is going to be glass in the future, and the water elevator to bring up the mobs is going to be right behind there, so we'll be able to see them traveling up. And then either here or 1 block behind that is going to be where the mobs drop, and we'll be able to one-hit kill them. Then I also want to put an enchanting setup around here, and then either I'm going to put in an entrance up there through the water, or we're actually going to build a long tunnel over to our farm base area. Another thing I'm not very sure about here is these half slabs behind the half slabs. It looks okay, but it's all looking a bit too similar with the same material. I'd like to go for quite a dark and gloomy look as well. But I'm just going to crack on, and then we are going to switch to a time-lapse now. So big time-lapse upcoming, and then I will speak to you once the whole project is finished.
We gon' kick like this here.
And the XP farm is now complete. You'll see this chest with some lapis in here for the enchanting. We have 4 anvils on the wall, and then I put in this enchanting setup down here, which is nicely hidden away, and there's no way you can fall down there, and the torch is there to stop mobs from spawning in this area. I kept the look of the room and the corridor quite gloomy. I wanted to have minimal lighting. These are bottom half slabs, so nothing is going to spawn in here anyway. For the zombies, down here there is some lava where the babies and jockeys fall into, and if they don't all get caught falling into that lava, then there's also this, you'll notice a half slab here, where the grown-up zombies push the baby and chicken jockey zombies into that area, and then they're flushed back into the lava. The baby zombie and chicken jockey filter system is by a guy named RabidSmore. I'll put a link to his video in the description so you can go and check out exactly how it's designed. But other than that, I think we are done for today's episode. We have a very nice double spawner XP farm here, access to all the XP we want, lots of different items. I've also been upgrading our tools. We now have an efficiency 5 axe, an efficiency 5 shovel, and we finally have silk touch as well on our pick, and I managed to get a fortune 3 pick as well. And down here we have a sharpness 4 fire aspect unbreaking sword. But that brings us to the end of today's episode. I'm going to take this corridor back to the farming area and think about what I'm going to be using all these bones for. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.